Hello everyone, and welcome to this presentation of our research paper, More Like a Person Than Reading Text in a Machine, Characterizing User Choice of Embodied Agents versus Conventional GUIs on Smartphones. Best practices in user interface design suggest that users should be given multiple ways to perform a given task. For example, experienced users should be provided with shortcuts to frequently used features, while first-time users should be provided with step-by-step instructions or walkthroughs. Or designers should provide a virtual human interface to allow users to carry out tasks that involve storytelling, education, or counseling. However, given a choice between a virtual human and a functionally equivalent conventional widget-based interface, when would users choose one over the other? We are building health behavior change smartphone applications that allow users to choose between a virtual human interface and a conventional UI to carry out their tasks. The virtual human is an embodied conversational agent, or ECA, which are animated characters that synchronize conversational behaviors with speech to simulate face-to-face conversation and have been shown to be effective for tasks that have narrative or social aspects, such as counseling. However, conventional UIs may be faster for transactional or time-sensitive tasks. In order to determine users' interface preferences, we conducted a randomized experiment where users have the option to choose between an agent and a conventional UI while performing health-related tasks. We hypothesized that the ECA will be chosen more often for the more social tasks, and the conventional UI chosen more often for the transactional tasks. That users who like the conversational agents will choose the ECA more often than the UI. That users will choose the UI more often when facing a time constraint. And lastly, that the users will remember more from interactions with the ECA than the UI. We ran a 2x2 counterbalanced within subject experiment. The two independent variables were task type and constraints. The two task types were reporting medications, which is more transactional, or getting recommendations for medication side effects, which is more social. The constraints variable was either set to being under time pressure and potentially distracted, or neither of those. We asked each participant to perform 4 tasks: A, to report medication intake without any constraints; B, to get recommendations for medication side effects without constraints; C, to get recommendations for side effects with a chance of being interrupted mid-task; and D, to report medication intake while under time pressure. 48 participants finished our study, 69% were female, and their average age was 36 years. We found that participants chose the UI significantly more often than the ECA for the transactional task, that is, the medication reporting, as well as when they were under time pressure. As a separate main effect, participants who did not like or trust the agent chose the UI more often than the ECA. We conducted a semi-structured interview with participants after they completed the 4 tasks. Using a thematic analysis, we found 3 main themes. The simplicity of the task and its emotional burden on the user influenced the participant's choice of interface. Also, time and the user's environmental context are situational factors that affect this choice. And finally, personal preferences also influenced this choice, particularly among those who completed all tasks using only one interface. As participant 25 said, quote, "I preferred talking to her rather than reading. I just gravitated towards the agent, just because she felt more like a person than reading text in a machine." In conclusion, we found support for our first 3 hypotheses, but the 4th hypothesis on memorability was not supported. In summary, the option of a conventional UI should be provided for quick transactional tasks and when being under time pressure or in situations where privacy is a concern. However, ECAs should be offered as an option for social tasks such as storytelling, education, or counseling, especially for users who like and trust them. Please check out our paper for more details and reach out to us for further information. Thank you for your attention.